Here we go. Dude, that view, bro, that's actually real snow on the back, on your right.
Yeah, we
Left.
kind of went from summer to winter. I think we skipped fall in Utah.
Dude, we never get to winter in Southern California. It's like, what happened? That's so
Yeah.
funny. I
Good
love it. All
friends.
right,
Good friends over there.
everyone, welcome back. We've got Grant and OBO. OBO is probably my favorite name for any product in the industry because every time I think about OBO, first of all, I'm wearing their shirt. I do think of Oreos, and I love Oreos. And I just can't, dude, I can't separate that in my head, just so you know.
Dude, you know what just came to me? The shirt is black and white too. I mean, you can't get better. Oreo, OVO. Yeah.
It's great. Well, look, today we're going to talk about 3D tours, and they've been around for a while, but you guys want to go in a little bit deeper because I still think some people are missing out on the 3D tour exposure. Even when I look at websites like Redfin and Zillow, less than half of the properties have that. And I'll tell you, I'm in the process of looking for a home. And the first thing I dig for is I want to see the 3D tour. And a lot of these homes are missing it. So what do you think of 3D tours just off the top of your head?
Dude, it has a place. It certainly has a place in the uh, world today. I mean, you can't look for properties, especially remote, without having a 3D experience to really immerse you into the property. It just, there's nothing like it. So yeah, I certainly believe that 3D tours have a big impact on your brand, on how you actually promote a listing, and especially the eyeballs that normally would just flip through pictures. If you have a person that is really interested in a property from a 3D tour, our data shows they're even more interested as a potential buyer, a more qualified buyer.
Dude, I would have to agree with you. I'm going to take you on a tangent really quick. It has to do with 3D tours. All right.
Okay.
First of all, Gabriel says amazing views, and I agree. It looks fake. Gabriel, it looks like a fake picture. I agree. All right. Here's where I want to take you off a little bit. And I think people aren't used to understanding how the 3D immersive world works unless you're playing video games, unless you're in that whole world a lot. And one thing that Facebook announced a few years back, and now you're seeing more of it, is Facebook Horizon. And everybody Google that, Facebook Horizon. It's like virtual reality world.
Yeah.
And I think what they're doing is one step ahead of what everybody else is doing that has the capabilities that Facebook has, you know, Google, Apple, Amazon, all those. What they're doing is they're betting a lot on the future of what the internet looks like. They're betting that the internet looks like a virtual reality place, a place where you could just start with either a headset or I don't know how, but a place where you can go in and dive deep into a 3D world. And so that's where, if you're already doing 3D tours and saying, hey, Grant, you're buying a home in Malibu, California. Well, meet me at the home at 8 a.m. I'll take you through the 3D tour. We'll go in it, right? In the virtual reality world. And I think that's where we're heading. So a lot of the tech is barely tweaking itself around it. We just need platforms. So I think the 3D tour, dude, that is the absolute best way to go. I think every home needs it because as I'm buying a home right now, I'm looking and I'm like, where's the 3D tour? How does this feel? What's the depth look like? It's cool to have a video, right? But a 3D tour is completely different. So what do you think of that?
So dude, you're spot on where the industry is now and where it is positioned to go. So maybe some perspective that might help. We started the virtual tour industry back in 1999, last century. I mean, it's been a long time ago. And there's a big difference between virtual tours and 3D tours. And I think that there's a lot of confusion still in it. Like, for example, a 3D tour, to your point, where the technology of the internet can take you in the virtual world, that's what you would say is a legit 3D tour. There are only two providers in this space that are actually 3D tour providers. That's Matterport and iSpy 360. Everybody else, even if they say they're 3D, like Zillow 3D Home, for example, that's a virtual tour. It's very different technology. The experience is kind of where you kind of, well, it's an immersive experience because I get to click on maybe a floor plan or something, and you can kind of, with your mouse drag around, right? The experience can appear to be the same.
Yeah.
The underpinnings of the technology are radically different.
All right, go into that, because I don't think we ever talk about that. I want to know that.
Which the differences there, and yeah. So like 3D tour, here's a simple way to look at it is, do you have a 3D model that you can rotate and look at, like give a little bit of that immersive experience? And again, the technology behind that means, if you can imagine all the other virtual reality headgear that's out there, that technology is on the underpinnings of being actual virtual technology in the truest sense of the word, where you can go through a house and see the lampshades and experience the lampshades or the carpet or the texture on the sofa or the walls or whatever, right? Like there's a lot more. A lot of it's not built out yet, but that's where the technology underpinnings are. Compare that with virtual tours, which is a 360-degree photo that is pinned on a 2D tour that, if you click on the master bedroom, it's going to bring you to where the camera was in that bedroom, and you can, kind of see up, down, left, and right. But it's a static image. It's not even a hop and a skip to experiencing that tour in a virtual way. And so there's the big difference. Like, it's hard because a lot of the real tech that you would think of in the virtual world still needs to be built into the 3D tour platforms of iSpy 360 and Matterport. But that's where they're going. And the other virtual tour options, they're not even remotely close on getting to that point.
Steve,
does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally does. And Steve, on your point, says, well, Steve, what's up, Steve? Thanks for jumping on. I think 3D tours are awesome, but getting agents to embrace them is very difficult, at least in my area. Steve's right. Do you think price has something to do with that, Grant, or just
yeah? So that's Obio, we're a fulfillment company, right? We fulfill all of the photography and marketing services, like 3D tours and photography and aerial drone, all that stuff. The biggest problem that you have, I think, in adoption with 3D tours is in our space. I mean, there's it gets really price prohibitive. So a lot of the pricing structure for 3D tours, and this is where some nuances between the platforms, the 3D platforms, come into play. Like take I want to back into this because this is an important point. How do you price a 3D tour when you're a provider delivering the tour?
Yep.
A lot of it depends on the time required on site. Now, how you manage that is, like, if you take a Matterport, for example, in order for them to create the 3D rendered model, you have to take a photo every 8 feet. Every 8 feet. If your house is 3,000 square feet, it takes X period of time. If it's 10,000 square feet, it takes X period of time, right? And so you're really paying for the time on site for that platform. iSpy 360, you don't have to do 8 feet increments, but they still give you the model, and they still give you a lot of the underpinnings of the virtual side. So a lot less time required to go, let's say, the iSpy 360 route versus the Matterport route, just by nature of how many hotspots that you have to go through that property. And therein lies the price problem, because a lot of providers are like, well, I'll charge you this price for 2,000 square feet, and then every 100 square feet, I'm going to just ratchet the price up. we've tried to keep it simple to help address Steve's problem. And that is big, wide ranges, right? Like we've done the math. So we just want to make it as simple as possible. So, most of the 3D tours get price prohibitive, but if you can have a bigger swath of square footage at a certain price, it makes it a lot easier.
All right. And there's a kind of like a comment, Steve saying, price is everything to an agent. Many are very cheap or frugal. Well, I think also he's right, but also some agents are just starting off and they don't know that they actually need the 3D tour, and they're like, well, maybe I shouldn't do it. It's too much money, right?
Hey, you know what though? I would argue, Tristan, we've seen a 700% increase in 3D tours nationwide.
Oh, dude, yes.
And the reality is the ones that are investing in 3D, they're not looking at it as, oh, it's a cost for the listing. They're looking at it as an investment into their brand. And so that's where you see a pretty big differentiator right now, I think, in the market. The successful brokers and agents are the ones investing in this kind of technology as a brand promise to their customers, not as a, God, this is just an expense that I don't know if I want to eat.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So what are you seeing right now with that increase in 3D tours? What are you seeing people actually do with those 3D tours? Do you see that they're just posting it onto the MLS or maybe just Zillow and then having Redfin pull it from the MLS? What are some creative things that you're seeing, or maybe there's an opportunity for agents to use the 3D tours that they're not doing? You're in the middle of this, dude. What are you seeing?
All the ones that, the ones that are investing in 3D tours as a brand are actually investing in it in all of their listings. They're not segmenting out, oh, I just only do this for the higher priced listings, right? The more valuable listing. They're literally doing it on every listing. And they're using those 3D tours in their listing presentations, in all their marketing materials, like on Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, links to all the 3D tours that they're the marketing 3D tours, the ones that look nice. But those are, we see a lot of the successful brokers and agents with our 3D tours posting that in social media, and they're using it kind of as a fun opportunity. I'll give you one example. Like iSpy 360 has some pretty cool features in it, and they occasionally do holiday themed exploring things with their 3D tours. So Halloween's coming up, so they'll do a 3D tour with like a scary house, and they'll have prizes where you can kind of go through the house, and if you find, it's like a hide and seek kind of a platform, right? So if you find this image, and if you're the first one to find it, then here's a prize. That is probably one of the most unique engagements to an audience that we've ever seen in the 3D space.
That's actually a real, dude, you just gave me a great idea. Imagine doing a minute TikTok, right? Follow me through this 3D tour home and find this, right? Tell me where it's at and you could win a prize. That's a really good one. I like that.
And you know what? People like prizes. People like hide and seek stuff. I mean, that's why Pokemon was so big of a hit, right? Like everybody loves it.
Dude, that's true.
Fact, even if individual agents did that with their own listing, dude, that would be money.
I love that. I think that's where the future is. And Steve, great question. We will show you that. But dude, you just gave me an idea. I think the future of real estate tours, when you bring in AR, right, augmented reality, and you take the live views of the actual home, and you're going with the phone, right? I would love for pop-ups to come up and be like, this stove was made in, boom, the refrigerator, and you just hover over everything in the home and you get all the details that you're wondering, like the floors, the ceiling, the lights, everything. And then you're like, and if you want to have some fun during an open house, find the Pokemon.
Yeah. First one to find the Pokemon gets donuts on me or whatever.
Dude, I think that's important in the future, right? That's added value at that point. Because I've already seen, is it the I Spy 3D tours that give you some of that in the tours? They put in like certain things you could click on.
Yeah, well, so iSpy and Matterport have it both. So Matterport has tags, and it's kind of like House in a lot of ways. You can put tags on furniture and things. You manually do it, of course. iSpy has the same thing. I think the difference between both of those, probably this is a good difference to bring up that we've seen. iSpy has more engagement features. So you can put, your face or whatever. You can host an open house where you walk people through live with them on the tour. As many people, kind of like a Zoom for 3D tours. You can put pre-recorded messages. I mean, they've got a lot of marketing features that can customize the engagement with potential buyers. So there is that for sure. But
All right. A couple of questions. One, Aza Ahmed says, "What's up, Aza? I'm really interested in joining your photography team. So how do the people get a hold of you through that?"
Just go to obio.com, and I think in the header there's I think it's called partners. There's a link, or shoot with us is the link. Click with shoot with us, and then complete that application, and we'll take you from there. Good question.
Awesome. Good question. All right. Can you show me a little bit of the back end of Obio so people can kind of go through a little bit of that process of what they're looking at and how easy it is to maneuver?
Yeah, just on the order side of things.
Yeah, just kind of go through that so people can kind of see what the options are as well.
Yeah, totally. Let me get logged in.
Yeah, no problem, buddy. I'm taking a look here at your products and services as well. And I think it's important for people to be able to see that. How fast is your turnaround typically?
So here, it's a good question. All the photos that we do, from if we had a photo shoot of any day in the week and Saturdays, that we deliver photos, all the edited photos by 7 a.m. the next morning. By 7 a.m. the next morning, we're fast.
That is very fast.
I think we're the fastest provider out there in turnaround time. The 3D tour rendering is not something we do. That has to be done by iSpy or Matterport. And I think their average is about 24 hours. So you do have a difference in turnaround time on the 3D tours.
All right. And then obviously pricing depends on where you're located, right?
Yeah, pricing does depend, but you know what? Most of the country is pretty similar. There's just a few markets like California and New York. There's a few areas that are just higher cost of living.
All right, cool, buddy. All right, you can share your screen whenever. Steve says, technically the sky's the limit. Aerials 360, which we also do, is cool because it allows you to highlight buildings. The only limit is your imagination. Wow. Steve, you're right, man. You're so right on that. Very true. Very true.
Right on. Okay, let me show my screen.
All right, come.
You good with me to take over?
Yeah, go ahead. You're in charge, buddy.
Right on. Okay, then tell me if you got this.
I see it. Orders. I see the orders.
Hey, check it out. Okay, so this is when you log in. If you've created an account, obviously you'd see a lot of these. This is where you'd see your orders, and we segment those based on whether they're open, on hold, or are closed. So the systems, actually, we've tried to keep this so simple to make it easy. If you wanted to create a new order, you just click that plus sign.
Okay.
I'll start over with an order. And, we do both photography services, and you can hire our photographers, you can hire our editing team. So you kind of have to choose which way you want to go.
Okay.
With that. And I'm hoping, this is my demo account that I haven't been in for a while. So hopefully I'll just do a generic address here in Salt Lake City. It's Google map based, so it'll pin you on the map. If you put in your estimated square footage, that square footage will, on this next screen, it gives you a little bit of an idea of our recommended products and services for footage.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Just on this, because I want to know what's the difference between Matterport and iSpy 360. You give both options. Why would I choose one over the other if they're the exact same price or very close to it?
They're actually different features, and that's why we offer both. They're the only two 3D they're the only 3D platforms in this space. And so they're the only two that we actually shoot for. And then the features, and this is where we have a lot of customers that love that interaction features that I was talking about earlier with iSpy. Matterport, they like for different reasons. We actually, just to give you, for what it's worth, this might be really interesting. If you go to our products and then down here to the 3D tours,
Okay.
if you want to compare the 3D tours,
Yeah.
like this is a pretty interesting comparison if you want to go iSpy versus Matterport.
Oh, cool, dude.
Right. So look at a side by side. And one thing that I know, and this is a personal preference, and we get a lot of this from people. But if you look at the dollhouse view here,
Yeah.
like these are called artifacts, all these little random, like, what's that thing right there? And this thing,
Yeah.
right? Those are just called 3D artifacts, which it is what it is, right? I mean, it's still an amazing technology.
Yeah.
Compare that to like an iSpy model where it's just crisper to my eye.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It doesn't have those artifacts that you're talking about.
Yeah, it doesn't have the artifacts. I mean, it still has like the same functionality if you want to zoom into that room and do whatever, but you can see like there's a guided tour. There's just features, right, that people have.
How's the quality overall? Is it the same camera or no?
Yeah, the camera is actually, it depends. So Matterport, you can have, Matterport's platform was initially built on LiDAR-based cameras, like a $4,000 camera back in the day. I think it's 3,000 now, like 132 megapixels. And
it's insane. Yeah. We've got one. So
yeah, dude, I've leaned into that technology quite a bit. It's actually interesting because an 18 megapixel camera, they just don't have the same features that a DSLR has. So you'll never get the same quality output for any still images still to this day, even though the megapixels are insane. But they need it with the LiDAR base to create these models. The cool thing about what they do is that, from a floor plan stance, and both of these kind of provide their floor plans, you can measure the floor plan. And if you're really needing like an architectural accuracy, right, with a low tolerance, then Matterport's like the best solution out there. If that's not that important, like having the accuracy there, then the sky's, it's just which features you want.
Well, because I see 4 options there at the bottom left. What are I saw way more options on the iSpy one.
Yeah, so this one is like choose your floor.
Yeah.
Let's see if it works here. So that's your dollhouse, right? This is floor 1. Let me X out of that. This is now, if I want to go to the floor plan, you kind of get a 2D view there. You can go from floor 1 to floor 2. You can see how it changed just slightly. Then you can do a measurement.
All right.
And that's it. The iSpy features, you got your stuff up here, play a guided tour. If you go down here, you can put scenes down here and just click scene to scene.
Got it.
I think Matterport has that functionality. You just have to do a little extra work to get to it.
Okay.
The floor plan, you've got there as well.
Oh, that comes with it. So that's not extra, the floor plan?
Actually, on both of them, the floor plan costs just a little bit more. I think it's like $15.
All right, cool.
To get a floor plan.
All right.
And then you can play a pre-recorded tour, right? Like where you are.
Hello and welcome to Long Pond.
There he goes, like some English accent.
So it sounds like Harry Potter. Cool, I like
it. So there, you know what I mean? But there's features there. So that's why for us, when it comes to, the order form, and like fulfilling.
How easy is this to share with someone else so they can watch it with you, or at least
on the iSpy? It's easy. You just send a link.
That's it.
And anybody that clicks that link, if you're live too, they're live, and you can interface and talk directly with them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, it's cool tech, dude. Like we know the guys at iSpy, we know the guys at Matterport. I mean, they both have their little variations, but like Honestly, we're really impressed with those. We fight the battle internally, and when we interface with customers, like I want a 3D tour, but then they're really thinking of a simple virtual tour, like a
Yeah.
3D home or a million other solutions out there that aren't really quite. Now, I got to mention this. If you're really like quality centric, the one major difference between the two platforms is if you miss a photo on a 3D tour, dude, from a photographer's stance, it is painful because it's not easy to just, oh, I want to go get that one photo.
That's
And
funny.
that's why, like on the Matterport side, you miss anything, dude, you are like, just redo the whole thing. You have to redo the whole thing.
Grant, Jake, who's on this on the background, he does a lot of our Matterport. He used to do a lot of our Matterport. So he's saying that is so true. That's so true.
Yeah, you just kind of like, oh man, don't miss a photo, right? Like, don't miss one of those things. Take the like iSpy from a quality stance. The way that they've done it is actually pretty interesting. So you can actually edit the images before you actually create the 3D tour. And that's actually pretty interesting because from a quality, dude, we're quality nuts. Like we just want to produce high quality, but we're okay deliver. They're both good quality, but if you want exceptional quality, you have that opportunity to get it through an iSpy.
All right. I like it. 2 questions, and both of them are really good. First off, Steve, thanks for being really engaged on this, bro. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
Aaron, I'm going to go to Aaron's question first. Do you see tech moving from non-LiDAR cameras such as the Theta Z1, which by the way, we have somewhere in this place, I'd show it to you, to more available LiDAR equipped cameras such as the iPhone 12 or 13 for shooting 3D tours?
Yeah, I love the question. So here's the thing. The technology is moving to LiDAR. I mean, you can't ignore Apple's clout in that space, right? But the efficiency of capturing a whole house with an iPhone, for example, is like light and day difference between capturing with like a Theta, a Ryko Theta. It is so much faster to go in with a 360 camera and capture.
Yeah.
And the LiDAR, I think, might get to that point, but that's, I think, your biggest struggle right now is the disparity between the time. It just takes so much more time with even the Matterport cameras. You put them up, right? And they've got to rotate, right? They've got to capture that space, like the time that it takes. Accuracy, that's why you need it. That's why you want it. But if you're wanting efficiency, they've got a ways to go.
Dude, the 360 camera is the best way. Just click, done, boom, next. It's so way easier.
Yeah.
Steve's question for you. This is an OBO question. Does OBO charge a monthly fee to create tours through your back end, or do you charge per tour, and how much?
So the 3D space, every 3D tour, which I think is what he's talking about in the tour sense, we have property websites that sometimes gets confusing. The 3D tours, we give a 12-month license, if you will, for every purchase. If you're going to hold on to it after 12 months, we would recommend that's more of a marketing play that you should be doing on your website, and then we should be switching that to your account.
Okay.
That's in iSpy or Matterport, but we give a 12-month license as part of the deal.
Perfect. Other question here. Great questions. Camera question. And you guys have all the answers for camera questions, so thanks for that. I used DSLR to capture the tours. Great quality. Do you require your photographers to use certain cameras, like minimum standards?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
We went over that last time. I remember that.
Yeah. Watch another video or connect with us if you want. We can't produce the quality that we have as our guarantee without minimum standards of equipment. So on the 360 side or on the 3D side, the Ryko cameras are actually a really good camera. They cross over into either Matterport or iSpy. The Z1 is a better quality camera, and for the use case of getting a property that is high enough quality to use either as marketing material or just to be really engaging, that's a great camera to use.
Dude, honestly, it is. The Ryko is so easy too.
It's easy and you save, a few $1,000s.
Just a few thousand, dude. You're so funny. That's so true. All right, man. I like it. I really love seeing the difference. I'm glad you showed this part to me because I wasn't aware of the differences. Even though they're minor, I do understand a little bit more now. So thank you. Now that Jacob's listening in the background, he's like, I don't want to use a Matterport, Tristan. I don't.
No, they're good. I don't, again, for us, we want to, our biggest thing is make sure if you're going to invest in 3D and you're doing it for the reasons that are right for you, then know that there really are just two providers of 3D. And otherwise, you're not hitching your wagon, so to speak, to the technology of where the virtual space is going to go and is going. You're really hitching a wagon to somebody that is providing a service for sure, but it's not nearly as engaging.
All right, Grant, different question here. Shayla, what's up, Shayla? Are the Theta V or the Z1 the only camera options, or are there others that can be used?
For simplicity, I mean, we've tested a lot of the 360 cameras, and dude, we could have a whole geek out session on that. I think the cool part about 3D lately has been the platforms have really opened that space up.
Yeah.
So there's nuanced differences for sure in the equipment space. We've simplified it as a you can get the Theta, either the Z1 or the V, and you're going to get probably as good. You're in the top tier. You're certainly in the top tier of cameras on the 3D capturing side.
Yeah, very true.
And if you wanted to go like Google Streets, or I mean, there's so many other platforms that do use that camera as well. So
it's very true, man. Very true. All right. Anything else you want to show us here?
No, I mean, hopefully everybody gets the concept behind the differences between 3D virtual tours and where the quality and some of the feature differences are, and really where you can get hammered with some people on how the pricing structure is, right? How many levels of that pricing structure. But dude, let's just be honest. I mean, at the end of the day, you just use Obio and we've simplified everything for you and you're going to get the highest quality. So there's my plug. I mean, not a lot of photography companies invest millions of dollars into the technology behind them or keep in front of the technologies that produce this kind of stuff. And that's just what we do.
Very true, buddy. Very true. I just noticed on now that I'm looking at this screen, the Obio name, I didn't notice that the two O's are like they're like camera lenses, and really the word is B. And like, I just never noticed that. Like you could put them all like one together and then open it up to like B.
Dude, you guys do. Your team is some of the best visual graphics. I do that. Like
that is really cool, dude. Like B Obio. That's really cool. Ooh. Jake, that's freaking awesome right there, dude. Because the lenses. All right.
B Obio, dude, love it. Be an Oreo Obio.
You got me on that one. That's funny. That's funny. All right, everybody listening in, go to Obio. Not Oreo. Go to Obio. Check them out. There's a massive discount on your first order. Thanks for being on. Grant, thanks for being awesome, bro. I appreciate that.
Dude, thanks you. And thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Later.